All right. Hello, Lise.
Hey Nate, how's it going? Happy Monday.
I really wanted to talk about um, scheduling, planning, taking the time for yourself despite the grind. And I almost want to phrase this as like the anti-guru advice because everything you see on
Yeah.
the internet is like, hustle, 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 grind, 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 work 25 hours a day. And you lose a lot of life that way, but you also lose a lot of productivity, a lot of communication, a lot of fun and enjoyment in the process that is this development. So I wanted to talk about that today and get some of your thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's a it's a great and timely topic. So I've been doing some self-reflecting too. I mean, both you and I probably fall into the full steam ahead at all times of all days and just go as hard as possible. And I've been spending more time thinking about maybe the opportunities that potentially we're missing by having so much scheduled in a day, and not that you need to look a different way or not try to reach your goals, but is there a way where you can have less structured days or times that still move you forward, but also give you this fulfilled sense of personal satisfaction and enjoyment out of life? I think there's kind of two schools of thought, which is you're a high performer and you're just go, 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 go. Or you have no direction and you are just kind of letting life happen and just having fun. And I think there's an intersect between the two. And I noticed it this weekend because I didn't make an essential actions list on Saturday. I still did my foundational things for my health and my fitness that I would normally do. But then I just let the day be open to being present and doing things more spontaneously than I normally do.
That's big.
It was very hard for
That's
me.
big. I know your
Very
list didn't come
uncomfortable.
in, and I was because we share the list. Obviously, if it didn't come in, I was a little bit worried, but I knew you're having some fun. And so, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can pull on in this topic. I think, for me, having done this, right, we talk about consistently. I think this is really important. One, the growth is in the journey. Right. We all want to accomplish our goals. We all want to get something else done, whether you want to make more money, have better relationships, become more spiritual, find community, whatever you're working on, right? Start a small business, like any of those things, like anything and everything that you set your focus on is really important to you. But if you're not enjoying the process, you're just, like you said, overscheduled to where there is
Yeah.
no time left in the day, you don't have any reprieve. You don't have the ability to step back and reflect and grow and rest and recover. And those things are extremely, number one, important to your health, mental and physical. But also, I've found from personal experience, it also leads you in tracks of like starting to abuse yourself as well. When you get overstressed,
Mm.
people then start to take pharmaceuticals or alcohol or cannabis or whatever else it is. And that can become really problematic. But two, I think what also happens, and we've seen this consistently within habitual growth, is people want to start with an essential action list. And I was just talking to somebody over the weekend who got in, and she and I were just kind of going back and forth. And she's trying to work on she has two young kids, and she's trying to work on getting back in shape. And she was just like, I can't even find 15 minutes in my day to do this stuff. And I just feel like a failure. And I'm trying to do all these things. And I said, listen, like, this is also a process. Like, it's also a skill
Yeah.
to be able to do this, right? You don't have to shove everything in and expect you're going to be good at it. It takes time, even 5 things a day. It's so surprising when you just prioritize 5 things. This is what I'm going to get done for the day. And those essential actions don't get done. You really start to process and analyze, and people think it's really easy until you start to do it. But the recovering, the rest of saying, okay, I'm going to have a little grace for myself. I'm going to get into this. I'm going to have fun and enjoy the process. I'm going to get my stuff done, but I might have to spend the first 2 or 3 weeks orienting myself so that I can fit this in my schedule. I know how I behave, how I think, what I need to recover, what I need, to digest and do things on a personal level that I may not be doing right now so that I'm as productive as I know I can be.
Yeah. I think the other piece that people get tripped up on, because I've been through phases too where I make my essential actions list. I know it's important and I just cannot get it done. Like, and I will go through periods of days where, and then there's almost a self-talk that starts where you are so critical of yourself. I didn't get my list all the way done. I didn't do what I said I was going to do. And it can actually become a self-sabotaging message that you play in your head. And what I want people to hear is that's actually the opportunity to reframe
Mhm.
thinking about your friend who's starting to try and get back in shape and just, I can't even find 15 minutes. But could you do 10 squats while your toddler is doing something, or make it a game? Can you do a push-up contest, right before bed, 5 push-ups, like are there still little things that maybe in your mind you haven't reached that bar that you've set that day, but that you can reflect on and say, you know what? I didn't get it all done the way I wanted it to, and I still did what I could to move me forward. And I think that's really important for people to also keep in mind. Yes, you have to build in the routine and get used to doing the process. And it's not always going to be an all or nothing answer at the end of the day.
I mean, it is in the app, all or nothing, but like my advice to her was along those lines, right? It's start smaller. It's better to
Yeah.
start smaller and figure out what it takes. These are new pathways, new neuro synapses that you have to connect. You have to figure out, what works, what doesn't work for you. Just like you're a different person than I am. We've had to go through different things to get to the point where we can consistently build a list every
Yeah.
single day. But now what's really interesting is I actually see us building and scheduling more time in to do fun stuff, right? As an example, I am not scheduling as hard of things on the weekend unless they are absolutely, absolutely essential. And if they are, I'll get them done, but I usually do them after the kids go to bed. But now, similar to you, I'm trying to be more spontaneous. Hey, we're going to go out. I know through the Live Hard program, I've got to get 2 workouts in for 45 minutes, but one of those might be an hour and a half. I might take the kids with me and we're going to go to the mountains. We're going to hike a mountain together, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot more of I'm going to be present. I'm going to be in the moment. I'm going to enjoy this. It's going to be fun, even though this is a task I have to get done. Less of grind, 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 shut everybody else out, because that just burns you out so quickly. And when people hit that, for the most part, at least what we've seen with habitual growth, is people hit that and they just give up. Right. It's
They
like,
stop.
I
Yeah.
tried it and it's like it was a week and it didn't work out. And that's not it. It's a skill set and you have to learn how to build on where you're currently at in life.
Yeah, and that's actually where I was going when I said it doesn't have to be an all or nothing, because I think that's where people fail quickly, when they come and they start to use the habitual growth process. Is I have this idea in my mind, I have to get these 5 things done exactly the way they are, and then when they fall off, instead of recognizing the little incremental progress, they become defeated and throw up their hands and go, well, it doesn't work at all, or I'm just not going to create a list. And it's actually that's the self-talk that has to occur. That is, I'm still on the right track. I'm still going to keep moving forward. And maybe today I only got 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5, or maybe it's been a week of only getting 4 out of 5, but I'm continuing to be consistent in setting my list and doing what I can and moving forward with the faith that the results will actually come, and you will begin to conquer days day after day after day.
For sure. What do you see in like corporate environments? Do you see people, because a lot of my friends, right? It's a 9 to 5, and then after work, they're just kind
Yeah.
of like tuned out. What do you see like in office place? How can people work on things like, getting some whatever is on their list done, maybe during working hours or on their lunch break or something like that?
Yeah, I think it depends on what their goals are, but I think there's a lot of opportunities. I know you and I have talked previously with just people, on a physical fitness journey, like just set a timer and go walk the floor for 5 minutes, or step outside for 10 minutes and do a lap around the building over lunch.
Hmm.
Like, it seems small, but it's something you wouldn't have normally done. And now you're 10 minutes further towards whatever fitness goal that you had. Um, or, take 10 minutes over your lunch break and go learn something. Find a YouTube video that, is on a topic that you're trying to build professionally, and use that and share that with somebody. I think there's a lot of wasted time in the corporate space because people get pulled in a lot of different fires, or they're, back-to-back meetings. And so some of what I've been faced with, and I think a lot of other people are, is building in the time during your day so that you're not always in a reactive mode, but there is space built into your schedule that either you can use for personal or professional development, or to rest, reset, get your mindset back in so that when you get done with the day, you're not completely burnt out. And I think either one of those is, and that will be person specific, or maybe you'll use a blend of both. But both of those can help you kind of blend what you need to do in the corporate world and with your personal development, and also not get home and want to order a pizza and binge watch Netflix because
Yeah.
there's nothing left in the tank.
Yeah. I mean, not to derail us. I mean, I love those. It's also being aware of where you're at in the day too. Like I think that's the tough part, and that's what I was sharing with my friend over the weekend. It's a process, right? It's like running a marathon. It's like every single day. Again, it sounds super easy to get all these things done, but you don't want to be up till 1 o'clock every single night. So can you take your lunch break and take a lap? Can you have around the building? Can you have, a walking meeting with somebody that gets you outside, gets physical activity, gets your blood flowing, have better conversations, more energy, right? But it's also might be on your list, right? Can you drink water throughout the day? Can you check on your lunch break? Do you need to read? Do you need to send a specific email out? Whatever it is, right? Can you do certain
Yeah.
things and then gauge your time as you work through the day? Then it doesn't become overwhelming because you're trying to spread this out over, roughly 12 hours, right? Versus like trying to cram it in 2 or 3 after you get back from work, but then also go to bed at a reasonable time.
Yeah. And I think the hardest part for people and for me as well is you go to the office and you have your routine that's already built, right? So I get to the office, I grab my coffee, I start to go to these meetings, and then I see and yada, yada, yada. And it does take a period of time to look at your days differently and say, where do I have 5 minutes? Where do I have 10 minutes for something that I can check off my list versus mindlessly scrolling through social media on my phone because I just need a break?
Yeah, no, awesome. Awesome. Well, I love starting Mondays out like this and starting the week out
Yeah.
like this. So this is awesome. I love these insights. Hopefully they help people, and we'll definitely get into it again next week.
All right. Sounds good. Have a
All
great
right.
week, Nate. All
Have a
right.
great
Bye.
week.